I had just 48 hours to complete the largest order I've taken in the last 2 years. We're about 47 hours in, and I have 1 hour left to stack and decorate a 3-tiered cake. Normally, I would never leave such a large and important task for the very last second, but I simply did not have the fridge space to store a stacked 3-tiered cake. Usually I do, but I was doing the tiramisu cups, which are really tall and they had to be stored in the fridge. So I literally had no other choice but to stack it the morning. Luckily for me though, you guys, I am a professional, and 3-tiered cakes at this point, no pun intended, but they are a piece of cake. I've done so many of them that it just went so smoothly. I quickly attached the edible image to the base tier, making sure to have the seam be on the back part of the cake. So I started all of my piping at that seam so that the front of it would be flawless and then you wouldn't see the back. And then whenever I'm delivering a cake, I always have some backup supplies just in case anything happens to the cake in transit. So I packed up my buttercream, a piping bag with some extra piping tips. The fondant bow that I had made for the top of the cake was also coming with me. I was going to attach that to the cake at the venue. I changed, got ready, put on some makeup because we are delivering to the Ritz-Carlton, which is very exciting. I got my cake that did have an hour to set in the fridge, get nice and cold before delivery. We got the car packed and we were on our way. I do have the AC blasting just so everything's as cold as possible. So Michael was in the front seat with his hoodie on. And then we had to make a quick pit stop at Staples so I could get the macaron labels so people knew what the flavors were and all of the allergy cards. Cut those out while we were in the car, and then we finally arrived to the loading dock, which is always exciting. They let me borrow their cart. The venue space was actually a really freaking far walk. I don't know how I would have gotten all the desserts to them safely without this thing, so shout out to them. And then we arrived at the venue. It looked so beautiful. I started topping all of the tiramisus, getting everything set for the dessert table. I put the cake out, and it was kind of a less is more situation, so there were only a couple desserts on the table, and then the staff was going to be restocking as the event went on. I attached the fondant bow to the top. I really think this like brought the cake over the edge. It looks so beautiful. I also made sure the ribbons at the bottom were kind of like ruffled, so it looked like they were flowing. And this was everything set up. I think it looked so freaking gorgeous. The party looked so beautiful. The entire staff was so helpful and kind. And maybe it's Stockholm syndrome, but this actually really made me miss all of my crazy baking days. So maybe stay tuned for next week. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, love you. Bye.